Welcome all to Earth's Call and Harmonizing the Future. Today is a day to engage in deep dialogue, to bring our bold, committed selves, and to share our fresh ideas as we move together into action. Please welcome to the stage Hereditary Chief Phil Lane Jr. of the Ihuantuan and Chickasaw Nations.
Hey. Good to see you, yeah. Mitakiapi, my very, very beloved relatives of the human family. I'm very, very thankful to be here to hear the earth's cry, awakening us to the destiny we have to turn back climate change in a peaceful, loving, good, and united, unprecedented way. And so, I've got my little clock here. It tells me how much time I have. So, which is great because it is a little chilly. But you're going to have to join me. First, I want to sing a song in honor of what we call the seventh generation. There's two parts to this thing about the seventh generation. And they're sitting right over here. And they're full power and strength and glory. Yes. To fulfill the sacred prophecies right here, sitting here too. To fulfill the sacred prophecies of our indigenous peoples across the Americas and around the world. So here's the song. First of all, to stand up and hear Mother Earth, we have to know who we are. And this song says it. It's from our white buffalo calf pipe woman. It says, Wayankie Chanupa Kile Wakayalo Wayankie. Wayankie summons the power of the Creator here to look at us, to look inside of us, see who we are. Then it says the sacred pipe that's sacred of all things. It means the mineral people, they're sacred. The earth we stand upon. The plant people, they're sacred. The animal people, they're sacred. And then when you turn that pipe with the mouth up this way and put it together, female and male, to create life, that's who we are. We are sacred. Each of us sovereignty, ancient, imperishable, and everlasting. That's who we are, nothing less than that. So as we sing this together, can you sing with me, Wayankie? Wayankie. 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 That's good. You'll sing with me. It's kind of like not singing in response to y'all. So, Wayankie, Chinupa Kilo, Kayalo. Then I'll introduce the seventh generation. So nice to see you here. And Joni Clark, thank you so much. You know, it was strange. 27 years ago, I was here and received the Windstar Award from John Denver. It's also where I received the right for about 50 of our elders came and gave me the right to have this headdress right at this very place over that other. It's kind of fixed up different. So it's kind of like all those elders are gone. You know, pretty soon you look around, you're an orphan. My mom and dad, and all of them though are here. My brother John's here too. So, Wayankie. Wayankie. Good. Wayankie. 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 Chanupa Kile. Wakayelo. Wayankie. Wakantaka, Creator of the universe, most beloved one, all-powerful one, most kind one, most considerate one, ever-forgiving one, we call upon your holy power at this time to awaken us, inspire us, uplift us, and open our hearts and minds and souls to the cry of Mother Earth at this time. In Nikashla, we give up respect and honor to your holy power that animates, sustains something sacred moving everywhere. In Akasha, we call upon all those tribes and nations of the East from where comes the red sunrise. They might come together in unity and harmony and understanding and hear the cry of our Mother Earth to rise up an unprecedented unified action. And to the south from where comes new life, we call upon all those tribes and nations of the south to come together in unity and harmony and uplift and hear the call of Mother Earth. And to the west, from where comes thunder and lightning and rain, we ask that thunder and lightning and rain might awaken our beings, our very essence, to this day we live in, this historic day we live in. To Nkashla, we give thanksgiving. To the north, from where comes the white snow, and all those tribes and nations of the north, they come together in unity and harmony and love. And Father Sky, we ask forgiveness for the way that we as men have abused our mother and abused our beloved women of this Mother Earth. It's the same thing. So we ask both as abuse stop now. In Nkashla, we would give respect to our mother, our beloved mother's wombs from whence we all came, that she gave us life. We ask to understand and bless all our grandmothers, mothers, aunties, daughters, granddaughters, all female dimensions of ourselves. And finally, Wakantaka, we ask that this be a great, great understanding between all of us. And now, Midakiepi, the seventh generation, it's a sacred prophecy. It says this, that a time after 500 years, was 1992, you would see arise from that time young people who would arise all over Mother Earth, and our indigenous young people would help lead the way. And you would hear their voices from every part of Mother Earth. And so this morning, we're going to have the honor to listen to who's going to take us past this current crisis and lift us up to a new global civilization in which justice for all human beings is the foundation, a balance of wealth and poverty. This is where we're moving to. This is what Earth's Cry is about. And so now I'd like to introduce my niece, Lila June Johnson, one of the great voices of our seventh generation. Toja, give it to him. Give it to him. Hey, oh, row. Whoa. Whoa. Give it to him now.
I love you, Dekshi, Kahat, and Sago. Yaat shik aroshitne, she nanisht ejitkachin in Slidon, Huskite, Ebashishti, Ashihan, the Shichi, Belagana, da Chanel. Taos, New Mexico, Date Nasha, Lila June, Dashajane, Akut Ego Dene, Astan in Shli. Greetings, my kin, greetings, my people. I come to you with love in my heart. I am of the Black Charcoal Streak Division of the Red Running Into Water clan of the Dene Nation. We are also incorrectly known as Navajo. We are indigenous to New Mexico, Arizona, Colorado, and Utah. I came here to sing a song for you today. That's what I was asked to do. However, I just want to acknowledge the land that we're standing on before we go any further. We are in the homeland of the Nooch people. Can you guys say Nooch? Nooch. That is also incorrectly known as Ute. This land was populated extensively and managed in a beautiful way by the Nooch Nation. The forest we see around us looks nothing like the forest that was here 500 years ago. It was carefully pruned and managed, and the food system that flourished here was anthropogenic in nature. The people created it. And in 1878, this town was actually named Ute City. And it wasn't until 1880, 2 years later, that they renamed it Aspen. And Aspen supplied 1/16 of the world's, or 1/16 of the world's silver. And it supplied 1/6 of the country's silver. So this place is sacred to our people because Creator made it sacred. Silver is a precious, sacred element that enhances our prayers and affects the electromagnetic sphere of this land. And that was put in place very carefully by the Creator, and we understood that. And when the people came here, they broke what Creator made. They broke it and mined it for greed. And so we are standing on the bones and the cemetery of the Nooch people. And so as you walk through your day today, say a prayer for them. Many of them were massacred right here, and they were forced out to Utah. So please take a moment of silence very quickly just to pray for the souls of those who are massacred here. Give them our love. Ask them to go home fully, and also to take a moment of silence for all the Nooch communities around the country who are suffering now, living on reservations that are just barely surviving. So we'll take a quick moment of silence. Nooch Nation, we pray for your children, your elders, your mothers, your fathers. We thank you for taking care of this land. We walk in a way that understands that climate change will not be solved. The climate crisis will not be solved until Indigenous rights are honored. The UN just gave a report out that said Indigenous sovereignty is critical to solving the climate crisis. You can look it up. All right, so much love, so much love. This is for all our relations, no matter what color skin you have, no matter what language you speak. We are all creators' children, we are all beautiful, we are all one family, and it's time to return to that truth. Indigenous people, shine your light, we are equal, I remember the days when our prayers were illegal. I remember the days when being Indian was lethal, Yeah, we had a rough past, but get ready for the sequel. Get ready for the glorious comeback of a people, Rise up, all you warriors of love, all you answers to the prayers of our ancestors from above. I could feel it in my heart, can you feel it in your blood? I could hear the seventh fire calling us to wake up. All nations rise, rise up, 'cause now's your time. We don't have to hide anymore, 'cause now's our time. With forgiveness as my bow and my prayers as my arrows, pull it back and let go. I watch them fly like sparrows. Have hope, have hope. With compassion as my shield and faith down to my marrow, I will walk the pollen path even when it gets narrow. Yeah, resurrect. Yes, you can bet that we seen the single mama raising children on the res. We seen domestic violence tear apart what we have left. We've seen the alcohol take it all and leave us dead. We've seen the children take their lives when they can't take the dread anymore. No, we can't take the dread anymore. No, I can't take the dread anymore. No, I won't take the dread anymore. Yes, it's a war, but we've seen it all before, and now we know we can change it, 'cause that's why we were born. We know we are the ones that we have been waiting for. Yes, we are the ones that grandma has been praying for. So rise up, all you warriors of love, all you answers to the prayers of our ancestors from above. I could feel it in my heart, I could feel it in my blood. I could hear the seventh fire calling us to wake up. Pueblo hermoso, levántate, es nuestro tiempo. No tienes que esconderte más, porque ahorita es nuestro tiempo. Yeah, keep that clap going. This next verse is for all of the indigenous peoples who live south of the imaginary border. It's in Spanish to honor my brother Shutezcot standing here and all of his people, because that border has divided a continent that was once very much connected. We call them Mexicans, but they are Native Americans too. That's why they have brown skin. Mujer indígena, tú eres tan sagrada y traigas medicina de tu suelo todavía, a pesar del abuso de tu cuerpo y tu tierra. Respetamos tus ancestros y la suya cultura, hombre indígena. Tú eres honorable y yo veo la fuerza que todavía sobrevive a pesar del abuso de tu raza venerable. Yo respeto tus ritos, tus danzas, tus padres, guerreros del amor y guerreros de la paz. Sí, no vamos a escondernos más. We are warriors of love, we are warriors of peace. We will not hide ourselves anymore. All nations rise. Rise up, 'cause now's your time. We don't have to hide anymore, 'cause now's our time. Yay! Thank you. We love you. That song is for all nations to rise, not just indigenous peoples, but the witches who were burned in Europe, whose medicine was forced underground to come up, the African Americans who were brought here and their languages were stripped from them, their instruments were stripped from them for their medicine to rise up, the Asian Americans who come here and are forced to lose their identity for their medicine to be brought back, all of our medicine to be brought back. And we know that this time it's not cowboys versus Indians. It's all the beautiful races of humanity together on the same side. And we are fighting to replace our fear with love. We're not fighting each other, we're fighting our fear. And this time we know that guns and arrows and cannonballs will not serve us in this war. The only weapons we need are the only weapons we really have, which is the weapons of truth, faith, and compassion. And they say history is written by the victors, but how could there be a victor if the war isn't over? The battle's only just begun, and I'm honored to fight with you all today. Yeah.
Please welcome climate activist and filmmaker Slater Jewel Kempker.
The moment that I knew I was in, my heart dropped to my feet, and all the hopes and the fears for the rest of my life fell away. Because that was another me, it was another life, and it vanished in that moment. The moment that I knew I was in, I stared so deeply into her eyes, into my friend's pain-filled eyes, that I could feel the salt on my skin, I could feel the water lapping at my waist, I could feel the loss of everything that I loved. Eaten by the sea, eaten by greed, by false truths and false desires. The moment I knew that I was in was when I looked around and I realized that the world was dying, that my world and my home was dying, and everything that I loved in it was dying. But I also felt, and I know that you feel it too, I know all of you who are here feel it, that there's time, that we still have time, because we're making that time. It's maybe a blink in the eye, but there is time enough to choose love as the movement. Love is the movement. There's time enough to choose each other, to heal and be reborn and prove ourselves worthy of each other. Because we can be bigger and brighter and bolder than we've ever been. We can choose hope rather than making despair convincing, because that's so easy, right? Just fall into that dark hole. That's what most people do. That's what we're being told we should do. That's been the narrative until this moment. But we're doing it differently here, because we're choosing love, all of us. The moment I knew that I was in, I chose love. I chose love because I want to be the person who chooses love even if we don't win. I choose love. Do you choose love? Do you choose love? Yeah. Stay with me right here in this moment. Just for a minute. Stay with me. Because we are going to win. We're gonna fucking win. We're gonna heal the pain and the hatred and the tailings ponds and the smog and the fracking. We're gonna heal the plastic ocean and the soil and the poisoned water. We're gonna plant 1 trillion trees, and we're gonna save our animal friends and our humanity in the process. But that's the cool thing, right? By doing this, we fucking save ourselves. We save our soul. We're gonna heal the 415 parts per million. We're gonna win. We're gonna do this because we have to. We know it, and we're doing it because we have to, and we know that we're going to win. Because we all here choose love as the movement. My name is Slater, and I made a film called Youth Unstoppable about the rise of the global youth climate movement. Let me hear it from my youth activists in the room. Because they're nailing it. They got this shit on lock. I'm going to launch a global one-day screening event in September with my film during UN Climate Week, but, that's always weird. I hope you join me, and thank you. It was an honor to follow you guys.
Please welcome to the stage our youth representative from the Aga Khan Foundation, Sanan Walji.
Good morning. My name is Sanan Walji. I am 12 years old, and I serve in my school's student government. I came to understand the urgency of climate change when I visited the Maroon Bells last year here in Aspen. I was overtaken by all the natural beauty around me, and then I had a realization. This could all change drastically in my lifetime. I could no longer be a bystander. My heroes are not some sports superstars. My heroes are youth. Youth like Greta Thunberg, a 15-year-old schoolgirl from Sweden who began to plan protests and walkouts to combat climate change. And Radhima Pandey, a 9-year-old climate change activist who filed a lawsuit against the Indian government for failing to tackle climate change. We must take action because climate change is upon us. We as young people are becoming more and more aware that we have to start taking matters into our own hands to create a better tomorrow and a more sustainable future. Young people are mobilizing and not waiting for adults to fix things. We don't have time to wait. As Malati and Isabel, founders of Bye Bye Plastic Bags from Bali, remind us, we might only be 25% of the population now, but we are 100% of the future. Now, close your eyes. Think back to your childhood years. The sights, the smells, and your relationship with Mother Earth. Now think back to when you were 7. Now open them.
When I'm 8, I'm gonna be this tall. When I'm 9, when I'm 10, I'm allowed bone. When I'm 12, I'll get a hairy face. And when I'm 19, scientists will say the world has got too hot. We went to an fossil fuels, driving cars, flying planes, eating meat, and making rubbish. It will get hotter and hotter. When I am 30, all over the world, we'll be running out of food. Millions Maybe billions. More people be running away from fires and storms. Scientists say when I'm 57, lots of New York could be underwater if we don't do something. When I'm old, like 59, there might not even be a world I can live in. I don't know what I'm saying.
Because Mummy and Daddy didn't want me to.
Be scared.
But you know what I'm saying.
You're a grown-up, so please act like one.
So I can be one too.
It's not too late. But you have to do something now.
Now.
Now. Now! To protect me.
Because I'm 7.
It is with great pleasure that we welcome to the stage OBE, Emmy, and Golden Globe award-winning actress, designer, artist, activist, and founder of Open Hearts Foundation, Jane Seymour.
Good morning, everyone. I just want to say what an incredible honor it is to be invited to be part of this. I am just so impressed by our youth. And I hear people talking about opening their hearts and opening their minds. And I've always felt that there are only 2 really important things in life, and that is the love that you share and the difference you make. And that's happening here in this room. As we listen to the voice of youth this morning, let us commit to collaborating for our future, expanding their army of change, because this is a call for courage. And we must have the courage to collectively address the plight of our fragile Earth, as she is altering faster than our human efforts are doing so in addressing it. Harmonizing the future is a day for listening, collaborating, and thinking together across our silos and across sectors in order to find hybrid solutions that will save our world. Assembled here in Aspen, where we find natural beauty so unparalleled and untouched, the heart of Mother Earth herself, we gather as scientists, artists, young people, environmentalists, corporates, philanthropists, grassroots activists, and individuals who care so deeply about our world. We have all assembled to answer Earth's call. Today, you're invited to experience through leadership and dialogue throughout many great sessions, from Target 2030 to our collaborative youth track with Planet 911. From innovations that matter to marketing the new green economy, gender and climate change, to science and big ideas, to film, art, and music, as far-reaching communication tools spreading the call across the world. We will arm ourselves with the best big ideas, culminating into actions at our town hall for Earth's Call at the end of the day. As we know, we are in a state of emergency, and we've fallen short of our mandate as lovers of the Earth. Let us take heed to the voice of the future gatekeepers and protectors of our land, and build again with the philosophy of 7 generations forward. And yes, the youth shall lead us. Let us have the courage to take part in this new youthful army of change. They are a global movement. They are the youth unstoppable. So please meet some of your heroes.
Please welcome climate activists Malati and Isabel Wisen, Danny Washington, Gary Binchigib, and Chukteskat Martinez.
Hi, my name is Malati. And my name is Isabel. Answering Earth's call for us started at 10 and 12 years old. But in order for you to really understand our story and how it all got started, we need your help. take a moment right now and go back to the time when you first heard the names and the stories of people like Lady Diana, Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela. We were 10 and 12, and we were absolutely blown away. I mean, these were real-life people who throughout history created a difference within their communities and their environments. And I remember that very day going home from school, looking at Isabel when we got home, and we just asked ourselves the question, what can we do now to start making a difference?
Now, that's a good question, and you can imagine living on Bali is like a picture-perfect paradise. But imagine going to the beach, swimming in the ocean with plastic, laying down on the beach next to a pile of trash. That is our harsh reality. And so we've been working hard for the past 6 years to get Bali, our home island, plastic bag free. And starting this year, after working with many politicians and lobbying very hard, Bali is introducing a plastic bag ban. But sometimes it does get overwhelming, and it's hard sometimes. And I want to share with you a little story that just recently happened. We were having a dinner in our village with all of our friends, and one of our neighbors went down to our local beach to catch a fish. And we were all excited, and we got the fish beautifully prepared. It was on the table, and the only thing that we needed to do was cut it open. And while we were sitting there, ready for dinner, and as we cut it open, on the dinner table, out came plastic pieces. And they weren't small little pieces, they were pieces the size of our fingernails. And it came out of the fish that we were about to eat.
And as you can imagine, that was a moment of setback for us. That was definitely challenging, that after 6 years, this was still a reality. But like we often say to our team, the work is just beginning. And it's not just plastic pollution. There are so many urgent issues that we are facing in our lifetime. And you're gonna hear various issues that we're all tackling today, from climate change, the broken education system, social injustices. And this is something, I wanna share another story of what made me realize this, is that when I was 15 years old, after I gave a speech, one kid came up to me and asked me the question, well, what can I do to start making a difference? There is a hunger within our generation for kids to get involved. We want to know how to make a difference. Every young person can be a change maker, but we might not know how. And so our next project, Youthtopia, focus on all of that, providing those skills, those tools, and the experiences so that kids can come and learn from frontline young change makers and have that real tangible story so that they can go back home and feel like they can have their voices heard. They can make whatever change they feel is important to them. Because as we heard earlier from Sinan, our quote, and you know how it finishes, we really believe that us kids may only be 25% of the world's population, but we are 100% of the future. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Danny Washington, and I remember the night of March 2nd, 2005, when I was sitting in my freshman dorm at University of Miami as a marine biology student, and I received a frantic phone call from a woman who I had been working with on campus during a time where I joined a club called the Marine Mammal Stranding Team. And she explained to me that they had just heard news that 70 rough-toothed dolphins had just stranded themselves along a 3-kilometer stretch in the Florida Keys. I jumped into action, got in my car, took a couple friends with me, and we drove down to the Keys at midnight. We arrived at a small dock and went onto a very tiny boat where they instructed us to put on wetsuits and a life vest. We drove out into the water in the darkness for about a mile, where we arrived on a shallow patch of seagrass, where there were dolphins thrashing frantically because they were disoriented. We jumped into the water and they told us, just do this. Just help them breathe. Hold up these dolphins so that their blowhole could just go above the surface because they had no idea where they were. So for the next 3 hours, we were out in the water and I had a chance to hold one of the dolphins. And I just remember the moment when I felt on my fingertips underneath its pectoral fin, the heartbeat of that dolphin. I listened to its breath. And even though it was chaotic, it was so incredibly important for me to see that moment, because when I looked up in the sky with the stars shining, I heard Earth's call loud and clear, that it is my human sacred responsibility to take care of our wildlife. Our brothers and sisters, living things on this planet, need us to take on the challenge and fix the damage that we've done. And from that moment, I knew that I was going to dedicate my life to protecting our beautiful blue planet. The course of that experience really changed my path, and I realized, well, when I got back home, I explained this thing, what happened, to my family and my friends in Miami, and they looked at me with amazement, but they were also very confused, because they were like, I had no idea. So I realized that they really didn't know what was going on just in their backyard, in our blue backyard. And once I realized that I needed to be a messenger, a conduit, I went on to continue to host informational television, content all about science, giving people science knowledge so that we can have a base to launch off of to protect our planet. So I stand before you as the first African American woman to host her own science show on national television called Nation. Thank you. Thank you. And I hope to continue to use my platform just like the greats that came before me, like Bill Nye the Science Guy, Dr. Sylvia Earle, Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson, who have all paved a way to communicate this message about connecting to our Earth and the cosmos. And I hope to use my platform to elevate young people just like this. Even though I'm 32, I still think I'm 16. But it is really important that we all use our whatever platform we have to elevate our young people, because this is the future. Thank you.
So I want you all to imagine the smell of sewers, a dead dog, trash burning, and rotten eggs. This is the Citarum River, the world's most polluted river. And when my brother and I found out that it was in our adopted nation of Indonesia, we came up with this crazy idea. We thought, why not travel down the river on the very materials that pollute it, plastic? So we built 2 plastic bottle kayaks out of repurposed plastic bottles, and for 2 weeks, paddled down the river. And to no surprise, the conditions of the river were completely overwhelming. There was mountains of trash dumped on both sides of the river, all types of dead animals. There was fluids coming out from drains. It smelled like terrible, terrible, terrible sewers. It's some feelings that will never, ever leave my brain. But I think if everybody in this room or everybody in the world was to experience this, we'd be so much further, because this is how we're destroying our planet, and people are not really seeing it. They're seeing, when you see it on the screen, you don't see it in real life. And when you have your feet in the soil, that's when you get it. So upon finishing our expedition, we released a video series on social media, and we were astonished about how viral it got. It reached the hands of the Indonesian president. 4 months after the expedition, he launched the big cleanup of the river, deploying 7,000 military troops to clean it up. And just this past February, we celebrated 1 year since we started the cleanup, and we're seeing amazing changes. In parts of the river, plastic has been reduced to 40%, which is amazing, and 90 factories have been closed down due to illegal waste dumping. So we're seeing amazing change. And I think this is an amazing story of hope, to see how the world's most polluted river can, be clean again, but to see nature heal itself when you give it all the elements needed for the earth to rebound. So with that said, I think no idea is crazy enough in the environmental urgency that we live in. And so this summer, we're celebrating 10 years with Make a Change World. And my brother, who's actually graduating tomorrow from Lehigh University, is going to be running from New York to LA. And he's going to be the first person ever to cross the American continent running on recycled plastic shoes. So he's launching that in a few weeks. And whilst he does that, I'm going to be bamboo biking the Indonesian archipelago to connect our rivers and our water warriors. So thank you.
Piali, nimis la palos, nanotoka shutes katonatiu, shimuala nika nin nuch chanehke, senkatlaso kamachililia, in nuch chanehke. Saludos a todos, buenos días, good morning everybody. How's everyone feeling? Y'all inspired, huh? Yeah, I'm super grateful to be up here. I just want to also start off in my native language, asking that the spirit of the Nooch people, of the ancestors of this land, be here with us. So, and give us permission to walk in a good way. I want to give thanks to my native relatives, my beautiful family, for opening up this space in a good way with prayer, with song, with a really deep acknowledgement of the indigenous people traditionally here and the native peoples across Turtle Island and the planet that still represent our peoples that are still here today. And that are a significant part of this movement. I'm from the Mexica peoples, the indigenous peoples of Mexico City, and I'm grateful to be here among so many other inspiring youth. The moment that I knew that I was in began from the teachings and the poems and the stories from my father, of our culture, of our ancestors. And there's this one poem that says, I'll just give you the last line, it says, Tienes cayuto tiu sochime, tienes cayuto tiu cuicame. And it says, at the least we have left flowers, and at the least we have left songs. My dad taught me this poem when I was 3, 4, 5, 6 years old, growing up with this story. And the message is that we are here to pass on the beauty of our culture, to protect our culture, to protect our people, to protect a legacy that we will pass on to the next generation, in honor of our ancestors, of those that came before us, in honor of those that will follow. And that was a foundation for the work that I've done beginning at 6 years old, speaking and really calling people to the attention that there's a really significant crisis that our generation needs to be uplifted at the forefront of building the solutions to. And so I began my work with the organization Earth Guardians, and my mom founded in 1992. And I've done a bunch of stuff all over the world. And I think for us as young people, the most significant ways we can tap into these movements is when we come from a place of complete authenticity and passion and love. And for me, that comes out when I make music, when I perform. So I'm just gonna close this section real quick with a verse, if that's okay. And it goes like this. This is for the youth. It says, we taking back the power, we bring it to the people. We stand for justice, fight for freedom till we treat it equal. This is our time. We build a legacy and leave it. Y'all can't say my name, but you know it's me when you see it. I am indigenous, product of genocide. Colonization stole my past, but we refuse to hide. Never alone, though, we hungry like a pack of wolves. Howling at the moon, indigos running through the woods. Tired of bureaucracy, sick of broken democracy. Stories of the end, fulfilling sinister prophecies. We overthrowing kingdoms, ready to break free from leaders that lead with barrels of oil that be leaking. And leadership's a beacon, we leading ships to freedom. State of emergency, wake up people that be sleeping. We strike a match, light a flame. You could set the world afire. I could see it in their eyes. Born to be a freedom fighter, born to be bigger than the cities that we coming from, born to be stronger than the shadows that we running from. Overcome, overstand, stand up, hands up, don't shoot, parachute, crash land, close up. Indigo warriors and visionary artists, it's time to take the power back, finish what we started, because nothing they can do will stop the waves that we've been making. This is the roots of revolution, it's the power that we taking, because the power of the people is more powerful than people in power. I believe that this will be our finest hour. Thank you. I think one of the most important things that we need to do in the world is help people understand how much power we have. Make some noise one more time for all the incredible young people leading the future.
Please welcome CEO of Lever for Change, Cecilia Conrad, and award-winning journalist and Earth's Call board member, Roberta Baskin.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I am just so honored and amazed by the young people here, and a little apologetic about being in the generation that has messed up the world. So I apologize to you, and I am also very hopeful about what you're going to do, because you are going to do it. There's so much love and energy and purity of heart in this room. Wow.
She's 32 and thinks she's 16. I'm 64. I think I'm 32. So
Love it. Well, little bit about Cecilia Conrad. She was in charge of the Genius Grants at the MacArthur Foundation. So I think you have to be a genius to be able to pick geniuses. So she's super smart. She started with an academic career. She did a lot of work at Pomona College. She has an economics PhD from Stanford. She's got amazing pedigree. She gave up her academic career because the MacArthur Foundation was smart enough to hire her away to do the Genius Grants. And there, she came up with this incredible, bold, wild-eyed idea to give out $100 million to one proposal last year. And I think you had 1904 proposals. She read every one of them.
I didn't pick, though.
No, she had a couple of hundred people who I guess were evaluating them. But what happened that was so magical in this wild-eyed idea of giving $100 million is that it gave rise to Lever for Change. And Earth's Call is working with Lever for Change. We are committed to $50 million for climate change. Yes? Thank you, Spike Buckley over there. Sorry, I know you don't like to be called out, but he's hosting us, so Cecilia, talk a little bit about what happened in terms of money being doubled and
Yes.
the evolution.
So Lever for Change was founded based on the experience we had with 100 and Change, where we found that there was an opportunity to catalyze a large number of problem solvers and to also bring along philanthropists to co-fund or to fund other ideas beyond the $100 million grant that MacArthur made. And we saw that as an opportunity to take this tool to other spaces. So the goal, the mission of Lever for Change is to unlock philanthropic capital to accelerate social change to the world's challenging problems. So it's perfectly aligned with what Earth Call aspires to do. So we're really excited to be in this partnership for the next 4 years.
We're excited too. And if you think about it, in the world of philanthropy and in the world of all of those out there who are looking for money, it's competitive. It's kind of an old paradigm of where you're kind of putting your elbows out like, I need money for my project. And there's such beautiful projects out there, many of them devoted to what is the most important project in the world right now, which is fighting climate change, because it's a crisis. And instead of in that old paradigm, competitive, it's collaborative. Really looking for how can we work together. I hope that you're going to come, for instance, to the Gender and Climate panel that is going to be this afternoon. That's a beautiful example. There were 3 different groups that came and said, you should be doing gender and climate at Earth's Call. And they didn't know each other. And so they're coming together in a collaborative way. In fact, because they're all women on the panel, they were jockeying for position not to be on the panel, saying, no, she would be better on the panel. It's amazing. Yes. So what's your greatest aspiration? Because we're a startup.
Yes, and we're a startup too. So let me say a little bit about what we aspire to do over the next 4 years with this partnership. The first is we want to identify solutions that work, that are scalable at great speed, because we don't have a lot of time. We want to go beyond known networks and the known players to find solutions that are out there that people may be working in obscurity. They may be young, like many of the young people we've seen here with ideas, and we want to uplift those ideas and bring them forward. We want to encourage collaborations across groups. We have created a solutions bank where we want organizations that may be working on tribal lands in the US to coordinate with a group that's doing a similar project in parts of Africa. We want to encourage those collaborations to exist. We want to mobilize the energy of people around the world. We want to catalyze philanthropists to heed Earth's call. And most of all, we want to inspire everyone to realize that solutions are possible. I think what we have all tried to do this weekend is to change the narrative around climate change from one of doom and gloom to one of possibility and action.
Amen. Hallelujah. We have 1 minute and 54 seconds left, and I know that there are a lot of brilliant people, all of them young, in the room with inspiring ideas. And I just want to call out, is Daniela here? Yes! You have 45 seconds.
Hello, everyone. My name is Daniela Fernandez. I'm the founder and CEO of Sustainable Ocean Alliance. And when I was 19, I ended up being at a UN meeting. And my two realizations from that meeting was, one, I was one of the only young people in the room. And two, I was hearing about the doom and gloom, but no talk about solutions. So 5 years later, I built a global organization. We have young people in 135 countries that are creating tech solutions. So we're investing in these ocean entrepreneurs because we young people know that business models don't have to harm our planet, but they can be in harmony with them. So new materials, organizations that we're going to support. So thank you so much.
Okay, one more cool idea.
Thank you. I'm Margaret Klein-Solomon. I'm the founder and director of the Climate Mobilization. I'm a clinical psychologist, but I left my practice 5 years ago because I was so freaked out about the climate emergency. And the Climate Mobilization is dedicated to telling the truth and advocating for a solution on the scale of this emergency. Because of our work, 500 cities around the world have declared a climate emergency. And in just the past few weeks, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and the United Kingdom have declared a climate emergency.
Yay! Yeah! If this doesn't give you hope that the young people are going to fix the mess that we old people made, I don't know what will. So we're answering the call with love in our hearts. We're all feeling it, and I'm confident that we have what, less than 10 years to make it right. It is an urgent. It is the story of our times. So thank you all, and we're going to pass the baton on to the youth, and we're there to support you.
I think one of the most important things that we need to do, in the world is help people understand how much power we have. Our decisions we make every single day, the food that we eat, the clothes that we wear, the way we get around, the amount of water we're using, all these different things. EG Tracks is the foremost, easiest way for you to be able to plug in. That brings power back into our hands. That's why this app is so critical, because it's about showing people the power that they have to create positive change. Earth Guardians is a worldwide movement of tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of young people involved with our programs every single year. And this is some way you can pull out your phone, you can download the app and get involved immediately, right off the bat, really quickly, by just understanding how the individual actions lead up to building cultural change and build up to creating a movement. You gotta remember that just like we all drink the same water, walk on the same earth, breathe the same air, we are all connected, and what you do really, really matters. EG Tracks is helping you understand that, amplify that, award you with points for changing the behaviors for a more positive path, and we're working together to bring the world into a better place. So thank you for playing your part. Join us with EG Tracks.
Please welcome back Shuteskat Martinez.
Hello. Thank y'all so much. I have a quick message to close out with. So, we need to change our energy infrastructure. We need to draw carbon out of the atmosphere. We need to take drastic action as a global community. We need corporations, we need politicians, we need policy change, we need the biggest steps we have ever taken towards climate action. And at the same time, I think all of that is far less powerful without the cultural momentum from people to create and shift, not just where we get our energy from, but how we think and relate and connect to the earth. This is not just a simple problem of flipping the switch and stopping the crisis. This is about, as humanity growing and evolving and really achieving this next level of understanding, that we are not separate from the earth, that we are intrinsically connected to everything that happens in every corner of the earth. And so for us, the Earth Guardians movement that began with my mama in 1992 in Maui, Hawaii, Earth Guardians has been pushing not just these grandiose, huge solutions from corporations and from the UN, but to build a platform for young people worldwide to utilize their voice and their passion to connect to creating tangible change. Just like the young people you saw up here, just like the 1.5 million young people that walked out of their schools on the Fridays for Future strike, just like the millions of youth that are mobilizing worldwide to be a part of facilitating the future we want to build. Earth Track, when we talk about solutions and when we talk about how we leave here today, Earth Tracks is an app that is going to be in the App Store anytime in the next week. We want you guys to know about it. We want you guys to download it. This is the first step in facilitating more sustainable, holistic, regenerative, balanced lifestyles. Because doing work in the world is really important, but we have to live it. We have to walk it. We have to eat and breathe and wear and operate in the world in a way that reflects what we are fighting for in an exterior way, you know? So it's all about balancing what we do, who we are, how we live. Earth Tracks is also partnering and doing stuff from the simple, granular day-to-day actions and also making massive partnerships with people like the Plastic Pollution Coalition and having huge community actions like that. Just Water, Jaden Smith, we've partnered up with him and Just Water to work on putting calls to action out through the network through this app to transition away from single-use plastic water bottles. The app is going to be, we're going to do a hard launch to follow up Leonardo DiCaprio's next documentary called Ice on Fire. We're partnering with the Leonardo DiCaprio Foundation and Leo to really push this app as a call to action that is that first step that everybody should be taking. Yes, we should all be investing in renewables. Yes, we should all be investing in drawdown, but it has to be paired with a transition, a complete transition of our lifestyles and of the mentality and an understanding and an awakening as humanity that the way we live our lives, the way we walk, the decisions that we make, that is what is going to determine the future we will pass on to the next generation. So Earth Tracks is coming out soon. You can learn about it more at earthguardians.org/earthtracks. Again, that's earthguardians.org/earthtracks. Download it, put it on your phone, share it with the youth, share it with your community, share it with your family. And it's just the beginning, yo. Thank you so much. Much love.
Please welcome CEO and founder of the Compton Kids Club, Fred Martin.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So the one thing that you really don't want to do on a Sunday morning is give a black man a microphone with a room full of people and tell him he only has 2 minutes. That's it. See, she's starting something already. But I want to introduce a very special group that I love. And they asked a question years ago. And they said, can any good thing come out of Nazareth? Yes? And if you don't know anything, Nazareth was like the ghetto of the Bible days, right? So I want to ask this question. Can any good thing come out of Vancouver? Yes. Sanan came out of Vancouver, who is the youth ambassador for the Aja Khan Foundation, which you heard speak today. Can any good thing come out of Los Angeles? Slater came out of Los Angeles and produced the film Youth Unstoppable. Yes? Can any good thing come out of Bali? Melody and Isabel came out of Bali and are producing their own reusable bags and put a ban on plastic bags. And then I want to ask this question. Could any good thing come out of Compton? Can any good thing come out of Compton? Well, we have the Compton Kids Club, who is champion and using their gift and their voice. We have championed causes as in anti-bullying. We have championed different causes. March for Our Lives, we sung at March for Our Lives. We're doing these different causes, but check this out. We don't want to just have events, right, and be scattered. We want to form a movement. So what we did is we created what we call the We Care Tour. And we're going to go around the whole country, actually the whole world. We're booking 17 days in Europe, 10 cities in North America, and going around seeing what some of y'all saw last night. We're going to go around and we're going to fire up youth all around the world, champion causes, leaving each city with a call to action to champion their cause. And instead of being fragmented and just doing events, we're going to create a movement that's going to rock this world. So I want you to put your hands together and bring to the stage my homies, the Compton Kids Club.
Do you ever cry when the lights go down? Terrified that your time's run out, wondering, will the tables turn? In a fight that you know isn't fair, but no one in the world seems to care. Reaching out, but we let you down. And we all know you really need someone there to keep an eye on you, someone that cares to give a hand to you. You need someone to take a chance for you, someone to stand up. Are you gonna stand up? Would you please stand up? I need you to stand up. When it hurts to stand up, don't just throw your hands up. Would you please stand up? Oh, I'm on my knees and I beg you, stand up. Do you ever cry when the lights go down? Terrified that your time run out. Hold on, we can feel you now, and we all know you really need someone there to keep an eye on you, someone that cares to give a hand to you. You need someone to take a chance for you, someone to stand up. Oh, are you gonna stand up? Would you please stand up? Oh, I need you to stand up, even when it hurts. Stand up. Don't just throw your hands up. Would you please stand up? Oh, I'm on my knees and I beg you, stand up. When you see injustice, yeah. When you see me in pain, someone to stand up. Are you gonna stand up? Would you please stand up? Oh, I need you to stand up when it hurts to stand up. Don't just throw your hands up. Would you please stand up? Oh, I'm on my knees and I beg you, stand up. Stand up for injustice. Your brother needs a helping hand. Stand up for the planet. Together we can do it. Yes, we can. Protect all the children. Enough is enough and not another shall be slain. Keep the marathon going. Last time I checked, Negro living won't be in vain. Stand up. Our skull. Stand
No, I say give it up. Y'all were a little dead. Give it up. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. How y'all feeling? Well, we want to say thank you for coming out to day 3 of Earth's Call Harmonizing the Future. And when y'all go outside, we want you to have a lot of fun and enjoy yourself. But we want you to meet new people. If you see a new face, we want you to say, hey. Can I hear you say that real quick? Can I hear you say, hey? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We need you to come up with some new, fresh, and creative ideas on how we're going to help our Mother Earth.
The youth-led Planet 911, and the Pepke Auditorium to the left is where we have Sustainable Development Goals, and in the Isaacson around the food is where we have speed networking. Don't forget to check your app for updates throughout the day, and don't forget to just have fun and enjoy it. Thank you.
Drying cracks, they don't show. So don't be so hard on yourself now. Let's go back to simplicity. I feel like I've been missing me. Was not who I'm supposed to